It's not bad.
Started at the Bigelow's lumber department and then just set out my board, and I had this mat that I wanted the size to be. I just kind of pictured, what if I put a putting green on top of this mat? That would be pretty cool. I always wanted to build a putting green and figured this was the perfect opportunity to do it. So bought 1 1/4 inch plywood, laid that on top of the beams to kind of get a feel for the width and everything, and then started to cut. Everyone always says measure twice, cut once. I tend to do the opposite. That's why I have that short piece there. Happens. What are you gonna do? Next up, we have the sanding. It's warm. There's a good smell. Check the camera. And back to sanding. Then we kind of just put the border around, made sure that it fit good. You know, I don't want it to be like, oh, make sure, hey, only have to cut once. Look at that. Then put the board on it to see where I had to cut the plywood. Cutting the plywood, which was a little dicey because it was a little thin and I thought it would like splinter or whatnot. Luckily it didn't. And then I gave that wood the old Danish rub, and let me tell you, I was very satisfied with that Danish rub. Then it was about just putting the border and the framing down, kind of making it as equal as possible. That obviously didn't happen until math was involved. Then it just became screwing. Next came laying down the plywood. Obviously I tried very hard to make them even, but of course they wound up being a puzzle piece. It was a little finicky, but I got it, and then it just became drilling those in. Laid down some carpet tape for the padding to make sure it stuck. Then I put the padding down, had a little help from my friend, and then I drilled the holes, which was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. And also I got a 4-inch hole cutter when really I think you kind of need like a 4 and a, I don't know if it's a quarter or like whatever is just an 1/8 maybe or a 16th, but just a smidge bigger than that. So that way, once you put the cup into the hole, it fits like snug, which kind of makes it, you need a little bit extra width, which I didn't have. So I had to kind of get creative. Lay down more carpet tape to kind of make sure that the green stuck, and then sprayed some adhesive. Next up, we laid the green down on top of the surface and tried to make it as tight as possible. I love this green or black. It's actually the only color I think they had was black. I will leave a link to where I got it in the description below. And then I just tried to make sure that was as tight as can be. Kind of treated it as a phone screen. Like you get a new phone and then you put your phone screen on it and you just want to get all those bubbles off. That's what I did. I made sure that every single bubble was off and it was as tight as possible. Next came cutting around the border, and then even after that was just pulling and making sure it was tight. And then it was cutting the holes for the cups, and then it just became putting. And let me tell you, this has been one of my favorite things I've ever actually made. 1000% satisfied with this thing. It is awesome. It rolls smooth, a lot smoother than I thought it would, to be honest with you. It's just a great place to practice putting, and I'm so excited to use it.